No one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke, you broke, your love life's the away. It's like you're always stuck in second gear, when it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or even your year. But I'll be there for you when the rain starts to fall. I'll be there for you when the feeling goes. I'll be there for you 'cause you're there for me too.
Now, be honest, you were hoping for Arc 5, weren't you? Well, don't worry, that's later this year. For now, we're going to look at something just as good. It's a little anime manga series called Assassination Classroom. Created in 2012 by Yusei Matsui, who made a similar manga series called Nero Supernatural Detective and was an assistant to Yoshio Sawai in his work on Bobobo Bobobo. This series centers around a strange yet ingenious octopus man who teaches the students of Kunigagawa's own Class 3E to become better persons, both in life and in the field of assassination, as they are tasked by the government to kill their teacher. With a premise that strange, you can't help but want to look and see just what makes this thing so good. And of course, it all starts with its central character, Karo Sensei. A strange creature, born of this earth surprisingly. He's capable of moving at the speed of Mach 20, is incredibly strong, and can't be killed by just about everything, except for what's coated in anti-sensei material. He's smart, he's goofy, he's a pervert, he's a money pincher, he's many things, and he's going to destroy the Earth at the end of the school year.
Wait, what?
Yeah, apparently some time ago he destroyed about 70% of the Earth's moon, leaving it in a crescent shape, and is now planning to take out Earth the same way. Rather than do it now or go into hiding, he offers the world leaders a chance to kill him in secret in exchange for letting him become a full-fledged teacher at this one particular school for this one particular classroom. Anyone who ends up killing him will get a 10 billion yen reward because of this. You'd be questioning his motives and why'd he let himself become a target, but keep in mind, he took out part of the freaking moon! And he's too fast for even jets to catch. Do you think he could be stopped so easily? But frankly, he's content with his decision to be a teacher, as not only does he know all sorts of things for the students to learn off of, he's very approachable in the way of talking about certain issues. His lessons often help a student improve in an area they're struggling in both academics and in personal issues, which lead to the student characters. Now at the start, there are around 30 students who attend Class 3E, each one having their own unique personality and character traits that help distinguish them from each other, although a few of them get major attention, such as Nagisa Shiota, one of the shortest students in class. He's typically seen as pretty weak in comparison to even the girls. Also, yes, his hair makes him look like one, but that's part of something else related to him, yet has a hidden talent for assassination. Because of how active he is in even other characters' development, he can be seen as the main student character, with the secondary main student being Karma Akabane. Karma is a close friend to Nagisa and is one of the smartest students in school, but due to being a troublemaker and somewhat violent, he ended up in Class 3E. Whenever Nagisa isn't getting action in areas outside of the school life, Karma is usually the other one to make sure things go well, but he wasn't always like that, which comes to one of this series' themes, which is all about morals that help make you better people, making each chapter or more, depending on what's going on at the time, about a particular student and his or her problems. This lets us learn about them and what they're like, what they might have done that got them into the classroom, and how they can maybe improve. And oftentimes you can even relate to their problems, which gives you someone to root for the more you see them participate in the story. A lot of these chapters come up with rather interesting facts you might not know well, like how fast the speed of a baseball can go when thrown, what chemicals can do what, and if they're good for killing, or how eating meant to be disposed food can violate economic rules. You'll get what this was for later. Of course, it's not always about school, hence why this series also has a hitman theme to it, which relates to two more teachers in the classroom. First, there's Tadami Karasuma. A member of the Ministry of Defense, he was assigned to be the classroom's PE teacher and help them in physical training regarding assassinations, as believe it or not, he is quite powerful himself, having trained in the military and can almost be seen as a superhuman. Then there's Irina Jelovic, a female assassin hired on to be their foreign language teacher, whose running gag, aside from being the only source of fan service in this series, involves her name. Can you guess what it is and why?
どうすんのビッチ姉さん。略すなビッチ姉さん、授業してくれよ。
そうだよ、ビッチ姉さん。
一応ここじゃ先生なんだろ、ビッチ姉さん。
なあビッチビッチうるさいわねまず正確な発音が違うあんたら日本人は B と V の区別もつかないよね
Yep, because apparently Japanese students cannot pronounce Serbian names. Go figure. Though despite the kind of interaction she has with everyone, she, as well as Karasuma, do develop just as much as the kids and Koro-sensei. Though in addition to the students, theirs is more in line with the hitman theme that pops up constantly. And I don't mean just by how they like to say their lines like it relates to killing, but just the kind of characters we meet and the kind of story arcs regarding them. Like meeting Irina's teacher, Lavro, one of the best assassins in the field, Red Eye, a talented sniper who once attempted to kill Koro-sensei during one of their field trips, and this guy, Shiro. Shiro is rather mysterious as he knows an awful lot about Koro-sensei, and has even given one of his eventual classmates the same kind of abilities as him, and is aware of so many things in the Hitman world that you can't help but wonder what lies past his Toby-like personality. There's quite some interesting characters to find, but none so well written as the chairman of Kunigigaoka Junior High. It's time you met Gakuho Asano. This man is like a polar opposite of Koro-sensei in regards to his teaching methods. Whereas Koro-sensei always approaches his students on the same level as them with encouragement to do better, Asano is more condescending, but you wouldn't know that just from how he looks. Always calm, always smiling, he believes in a system where the world is 95% hardworking and 5% lazy, with Class E being an example of that. His school is designed to be as discriminative toward that one classroom as possible. Not just with students, but even the teachers will look down on them. This is like bullying at its worst, and is something that can never happen in the real world. Thing is though, Asano makes it seem like it's not such a bad thing, or at the very least show he does care for them when in reality, he doesn't, as his words are very enticing that you just can't resist listening. He's so subtle about it even when it's clear what his intentions are, and you can even tell this through the school mascot.
やあみんな僕クヌドンこの学園のマスコットだよこのコーナーはくぬぎが丘学園を詳しく紹介するコーナーだよくぬぎが丘学園は偏差値66明るく楽しくやる気になれる学校だよみんなとっても仲良くて平等なんだ
Really, this guy is like a centipede, whose words and beliefs get into your head and almost brainwash you into doing everything he says. He's like Aizen in a way, but maybe that's just me.
少し改善する必要がある。私にとっては暗殺よりも優先事項だ。
poison! Oh God, stop it! Stop doing this! You're eating their minds, you magnificent bastard! But yeah, he's just so despicable, you can't help but love how he's written. He's one of my favorite antagonists for a reason. They somehow turned a regular school chairman into a villain. In fact, the reason this works well is because of how overblown everything is. Even Karma's initial appearance is overblown, but done well. He would just seem like a delinquent with high intelligence, yet he's very dangerous to the point where he abuses the conditions set on Koro-sensei that prevent him from hurting his students. Not that he would want to try and kill him just through otherwise harmless pranks. Episode 3 of the anime really cements how effective the visuals can be during dramatic moments.
いい組なんぞの肩を持って未来あるものを傷つけた。彼の受験に影響が出たら俺の責任になるんだぞ。
味方とか言っといてそんなこと言っちゃうんだ。やばい、死ぬ。
お前は成績だけは正しかった。だからいつもかばってやったな。俺の経歴に傷がつくなら話は別だ。
俺の中でこいつが死ぬ。
俺の方からお前の転級を申し出た。おめでとう赤羽。君も3年からいい組行きだ。
そいつに絶望したら俺にとってそいつは死んだと同じだ。
But even then, this can still cause characters to go through a change, as Karma, who learned to distrust teachers after being put into Class 3E, became trusting of Koro-sensei and his friends, knowing that there are still those who can work together with him and someone to stick with him as a teacher. Whenever the assassination stuff isn't being put into play, they do find ways to tie it into the students' school activities. Like one in particular I like was where Kaede Kayano, who might be the main female student character, if the color spreads she shares with Nagisa and Karma are an indication, wants everyone to help make a giant plate of pudding to give to Koro-sensei to maybe kill him. Using logic and science to get the mold right without it falling apart, and still keeping the bomb hidden, they succeed in making it, but fail to keep the bomb from being detected by his incredible nose. Yet, it was fun to see them make it. We learned what can go into making a giant plate of pudding, and it was good for the students and Kayano to grow from it. But the absolute best thing to come from splicing assassinations with school life are the exams. Because this series loves to use visual analogies, they make tests and exams so damn epic, it's like watching a shonen action series. Questions are like these monsters that can only be defeated with perfect answers and are all conducted in these arenas where they fight alongside other students, including those against them, in a competitive manner. You feel the heavy tension as you hope they pass their test, but in a way that's different and unique. All the while, you're getting humor that's well done, often random, especially since this was a guy who had a hand in Bobobo, so certain references can get by, and yet, it can be pretty dark at times. Mostly during the hitman stuff, the series can be pretty violent, but otherwise the morals and lessons are very much real, very mature, and very realistic. You do in fact learn from this series on a fundamental basis. Whatever these kids go through, you can find yourself going through too. In fact, in recent chapters, it was pretty much said that by failing, you can find strength to do better next time. And that's very well true. Even if you fail, you learn from it and get better. It's a good lesson to learn, I feel. Use your hidden second blade to cut through and press onward to a better future. Now, if I were to find faults in this series, well, because of how fast-paced this series is, you don't typically get equal development for the students or teachers. Really, only Nagisa and Koro-sensei, the latter learning new methods to overcome obstacles in teaching, get the most development time, so often it feels the students get like one or few stories to themselves while otherwise just supporting everyone else in whatever they excel in. Then again, the story looks like it'll end once the school year ends. And as of this writing, we're getting close to a big story arc where the government feels confident their big assassination plan will succeed at the right time. It's why we're starting to see resolutions to certain characters being covered, and hints that we may finally begin to learn heavily about Koro-sensei's backstory, as that was one of the biggest incentives to reading this. Just, why did he become a teacher? Who is he, and why does he want to destroy the Earth? So far we know that he was created. There's a woman who was close to him, and whose dying wish got him to this point. And the only person who seems to know the most is Shiro. Even if this means the series won't last long, as it's over 120 chapters at this point in time, I can say that I'm very satisfied with what I read. And now, seeing as the current TV anime looks to be doing the series justice by keeping everything that made it so good, right down to having excellent animation and voice casting, I'm going to come back to the series to cover a story arc that I really love. But let me just say now, if you haven't been reading this or are interested in it or the anime, definitely check it out. Don't let its goofy nature fool you. It's really one of the more mature series currently in Shonen Jump. With a lovable main character you can't help but want to kill along with the students, it's a fun assassination trip from start and hopefully to finish. I'm the Media Hunter. Media's my prey and reviewing them my way.
Hello shooting star, hello shooting star again. 待っていたよ、夢を見るあの子はずっとここにいるの。あの日のまままた光って
修学旅行のしおり1243ページ。班員が何者かに拉致られた時の対処法。犯人の手がかりがない場合、まず会話の内容や訛りなどから地元のものかそうでないかを判断しましょう。地元民でなくさらに学生服を着ていた場合1344ページ。考えられるのは相手も修学旅行生で旅先でお板をする輩です。
てめえらなんでここが分かった？
土地勘のないその手の輩は拉致した後遠くへは逃げない。近場で人目につかない場所を選ぶでしょう。その場合付録134ページへ先生がマッハ20で下見した拉致実行犯潜伏マップが役立つでしょう。
すごいなこの修学旅行のしおり。完璧な拉致対策だ。
いやー、やっぱ修学旅行のしおりは持っとくべきだね。
そんなしおり